All right, so this is the Drupal core usability meeting for July 17th, 2018. We only have a few people today, and we only have two media topics that have been proposed. I don't know if, Adam, you would want to present either of them.
Well, I'm sorry, I got totally caught up in other things, so I know I asked Sam to look at this, but I just see what's in the channel. So yeah, there's the upload stuff, and then there's the field widget. And I don't know if we have to talk about the field widget, because the field widget is RTBC. I kicked it to that yesterday. And I did that because it has been reviewed in previous UX calls pretty extensively. And I think that given media library is experimental, it is okay to land it in its current state, because we reviewed it with, I think you were on that call, Gabor, as well as Angie was on that, and I think Christina also. Roy has been MIA for a little while. And I don't think anything commit blocking, anything that was commit blocking was either fixed. I mean, anything commit blocking was fixed. It wasn't either fixed. It had to be fixed. Other things were deferred to follow-ups, and given that we are now in alpha, I think we should go ahead with that. So that's RTBC now, unless there's anything anyone wants to ask or bring up about that.
Yeah, I'm looking at if it ever had the need to review tag, because I don't see it being removed. But
yeah, I did remove a few tags. Based on Angie's feedback, and I think the last UX call, I removed the accessibility tag because I've been like every day I've been like pinging Andrew McPherson, which goes into the void of nothing. And therefore what Angie felt was like, at this point we've done our due diligence, any accessibility issues that come up will surface as bugs. And if that's the case, we'll fix those as they arise, and we could make them stable blockers if they're really grievous. And I'm okay with that, in the name of shipping something usable in 8.6. And then JavaScript, we've had Matt Grill look at this, so I feel like that's okay. Lowry looked at it from a front-end framework manager perspective. Follow-ups are filed as far as I can tell, and I got rid of needs usability review because we've usability reviewed it. It's been in this call a bunch of times.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, we can certainly not rely on specific people to provide feedback, but we need either way, we need a better mechanism of accessibility reviews than being only certain people who are also people and they have lives.
Well, I actually had a thought about that, but I don't know. But it's Acquia specific, so I don't know if I should be talking about it on the UX call.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So
okay. All Acquians in this call.
So
yeah.
So do you have the other one?
Yes. So the other one, I haven't seen the video Sam made, but I think it was made pretty recently. And so I think we could totally watch the video or skim the video, because I'm not in a position to set up a live demo just yet, and Sam is better at that than I am anyway. So let me find the video and we can watch it. Do you want to share your screen, Gabor, or should I do that, or what?
I'm looking for the video as well.
Let's see. It's down towards the. Yeah. Okay. Here's the
YouTube link.
Yeah. Here it is. Down from the last comment that Sam made. So just to put this in context, this issue is the final piece that we need for a media library to be awesome. It can get awesomer from there, but the baseline level of awesome comes from this patch. It's blocked by the field widget, so we have to land that before we can possibly land this. And this one's gone through a pretty troubled history, but Sam has done amazing work getting that to where it should be according to the designs that were signed off on years ago by the UX team. So yeah, let's see what he did. Let's watch the movie.
Giving a demo of the media library field widget upload functionality, which I'm working on. Yeah, this is still in progress, but if you've seen these sort of videos before, I'll just run through really quick. I've installed the standard profile and added a media field to articles. So we're viewing an article, and here's the media widget. I set the cardinality to 3 for demo purposes. That just means 3 media can be selected or added. We are going to jump in and click Browse Media. This is a new install, so there's no media right now. So I'm going to click Add Media, and I get this Add Media screen. This is the default file widget help. Seems like this list is really long. The reason for that is that this field allows for 3 different media types: file, image, and then I made a one called animated GIF, and these are all the extensions that this accepts. So just because it's a demo, I'm going to try to upload 4 files. This should fail because this field only accepts 3, so let's just make sure. Okay, it gave me the error that I expected. That's good. Let's go down to 3. Okay, so it uploaded those 3 files, and for the first 2, it could automatically determine the media type for that file. And what that means is that this was a JPEG, this Newman not JPEG, so it knows only the image media type accepts JPEGs. So it just defaulted to that, and it's showing me a form. So I can put in some alt text, which is required. The next one, it was a file, and it was a text file, and only file media types accept text files. So that makes sense. This third one's a little more complicated. Just for the purposes of the demo, I made a new media type that is for animated GIFs compared to normal GIFs. So the upload widget doesn't know if you want to create an animated GIF or an image, so it prompts you to select a media spec. So I'm going to select animated GIF. Now we have a form for the GIF. It also has a tags field just for fun, just to show off that different sort of fields work in this. So I can type my tag, and then I'm going to click Save and Insert. Sweet. So now I have 3 media selected, and you can see I've made this animated GIF so it actually shows it moving. It won't let me select any more media, but I can do stuff like I can still remove, reopen the browser, select something again. I can do new uploads, and it's totally aware of how the cardinality that's remaining. So yeah, that is the upload widget. Just because I'm still recording, the way those forms work is actually using something in Core that's not used all the time. Oops. It's called form modes, I think. So if I go to a media type, like let's go to animated GIF, and I go to manage form display, just like there's a media library view mode, there's also a media library form display. So I can click into that and then decide, what fields do I want to be displayed in that quick upload form? Because people that really want to fill out the URL alias and the author by and author on fields normally. If you have a different use case, you can configure this the way you want. So you can see I allowed tags here for the GIF, which is why you saw that. Yeah, really cool. Sorry for the long-winded demo, but that's it. Okay.
All right, so for those of you who don't know, fun fact about Sam is that his middle name is Gandalf, and he's an extraordinarily powerful wizard. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I really like what he did there. And so that is all blocked on the field, but on the field widget getting in. Now it's not clear yet if the it's not clear if that upload functionality can make it for 8.6. I wouldn't expect it at this point because I haven't even reviewed the patch. But it can definitely make it for 8.7, and now would be a good time to collect any early usability feedback that you guys might have about what you just saw, or questions for me to collect and forward on to Sam or anything like that. So what do we think?
So I think that was very cool. I think what was confusing, though, is that this was a scrollable modal dialog, and it was not really apparent that that's the case. So when he opened the 3 uploaded files, only 2 were visible on the page, and then you've had the modal dialog, and then he had the submit button and you would need to figure out that this is a scrollable thing and scroll down, that there were more.
Okay.
So I think that's interesting.
That's a really good point. I wonder, I feel like that's a thing that could really use design input. And it's funny you actually mentioned that, because in an older iteration of this patch, it wasn't all on the same thing. It was like you would sort of go through a multi-step thing where it's like fill out the thing for one, then you hit next, and then you do it for the next one, and then the next one, as many as you uploaded. And that would, eliminate the confusion of it being scrollable, but it also was nowhere near as slick. So that's an interesting point. And I wonder, I'm sort of thinking like we should get design input on that one. Anyone else have any thoughts on that? I guess not. Okay. So yeah, do you think design input might be called for there? Because I'll just mark it down for that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we don't have
Christina on the call today.
Designers on the call now. Yeah.
Okay, I can probably ask either Christina or Emily about that. Yeah, anything else anybody that comes to mind for anybody?
Let me look at this again. So I think the other one was that the button said browse media while you were left to add more. So this maybe browse and add or something. So I think that was part of the UX review before where we decided they should be browse.
Right.
Right. And then we also said that this may need to be revisited when it also allows you to add something, because browse may not necessarily indicate that you're also adding something.
Okay. That sounds like a really good point. And I totally agree. Yeah, once we add it, we'll change what that button says.
Yeah.
Probably browse and add is going to be right, or browse or add.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I don't know exactly. But...
Yeah.
I have one minor thought. From that view, would it be possible to open an additional tab for management of the media? So from that window, you may want to see a full page that lets you look at everything that you've got. And through a modal dialogue, it may be too difficult if you've got thousands of images and whatnot. So something that linked to the larger library might be helpful.
So you think it would be better to do that inside the modal when you're like from here, or like from the initial widget down there where you have the browse media button?
I don't know which would be better. I'm just thinking about my own workflows, and when you have lots and lots of images, doing it all through the modal can get to be overwhelming. I guess I would probably do it from once. I guess do it from the browse button.
From the browse button, so from the initial widget.
From the initial widget.
Okay.
But I guess that brings up a second question in terms of if you are browsing a large number of media objects, is there a way to search through them or sort them?
Technically, yes. So as you can see, we actually have name there and sort by, because that's a view that comes up in the modal, and it's a configurable view that you own as the site owner. So you could add additional filters there if you were so inclined.
Got it. Yeah, that would work.
Stuff. So I mean, we have the most basic stuff where I think it's just searching kind of like, keywords by title. Very basic. It's like we have very basic set of filters. And the reason we did that is because we didn't want, the UX team reacted pretty negatively to having an enormous number of filters there. So in the name of simplicity, there's very few of them, but you could add more.
I guess for me, that I wonder if it would automatically go there, but maybe there's some interface changes to a broader view that you could use to populate it back. Sort of like that widget's good for searching all of the immediate things. But if you needed to look at the full library in a more extensive way, there was something else to be able to do that.
I should probably mention that, I mean, this view searches through all media items, so it is the full library.
Yeah, so there's just no media yet. That's why it looks so empty. But
yeah,
if you hit browse, it should allow you to browse all the types of media that this field would allow you to reference. Not all the media, but all the types of media that this field allows you to reference.
Right, yeah, that's exactly what it does.
So maybe then my question becomes, is it possible to have like a simple browse and then an advanced browse or something like that, the ability to give people a more robust view? And I'm just thinking about larger.
It's actually funny that you mentioned that too, because that also came up in a UX call where, or a previous UX call where we were sort of looking at the design of this media library. It's like, well, this is a very simple display, right? Where you have the thumbnail and the title and that's it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, needless to say, there are going to be many use cases where you want to have a lot more information, like the type or who created it or when. So what the media library does is it makes a new display of that view and uses it to it shows that in the modal. But you can still look at like the original table display that has way more information on it for each media item. There is a follow-up issue already open to figure out whether we should unify these two or make them easily toggleable and how that would work. Mm-hmm. So that's something we already have an issue for.
Okay, then it's covered. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions?
Yeah, this is what shows up when you hit browse media and there's already media existing and you already have some of them selected that are not selectable anymore.
Right.
Oh, no, that they are not selectable because you selected one and you're only allowed to have 3.
Right.
So I want to bring up a Drupalism that's just a big problem. Is when there's no media, it says no media available. That's the default text, the no result text.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking about user experience, it really should say, you know, no media available, add media above, or, you know, like it should give a call to action because that just looks like an empty space. I know there's an add media button. We all are smart people that figure out that you can add media. But the help text saying no media available, it would be good if there was more descriptive text. I know it's not an easy thing to do. You know? It's like, because that's the default text if nothing comes up in a search result, right?
No, that's actually easy to do because, as I say, it's a view. So it's a matter of changing the empty text of that view.
But well, let's say they did a query and it came up with no results. You wouldn't want it to say no media available, add media above.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
it's like this is the default text when no query is executed. And I don't. Yeah, programmatically, I don't really know how to do it, but I feel like.
Well, I have a thought about that, but you know.
Yeah, so
that is a UX call.
Ideally, it would say no media available. Create one in the default case, and if you actually filter for something, then it would not say that because that's. Right. You probably don't want to create a new one. You want to find one.
I mean, it's probably not impossible to do that. It might be the kind of thing. I mean, it sounds like a really good idea, but it may be something that we want to do in a follow-up issue since it's not specific to the upload functionality necessarily. That's really more of an issue with this view and several other views in general. So yeah, I feel like that would be best scoped to a follow-up and possibly something fixed in views generically.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I see if we follow up and get like custom text when there is no content available, that can make a huge difference because then we can get really descriptive, even linked to documentation. So
sure.
Okay.
Okay, that sounds like a pretty good one for well, yeah, I noted it down so we can have a follow-up about that.
Yeah, Antje has been working on with some people on an issue that unifies the no X available kind of messages in core. I think it's either RTBC or already committed. And they are working on a follow-up to have this and create new thing included, so they will be more unified because a lot of places they don't have a create new even in the default state. So that's also a thing that we generally need to unify.
Gabor, do you happen to have that issue on hand? Can you send it to me?
I will take a look. Yes.
All right. So that sounds pretty. This is all. I'm really glad you guys like it. I do want to show it to more people. Any other comments?
So let's see, one other thing. Another thing that he did not show that I would be interested in to see is what happens if you click Save All and Insert, even though you did not pick the type. Would it get you an error, or? I'm interested in that. It looks intriguing.
Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe it's broken, so we didn't demo it.
I hope not.
No, it's probably, I don't know. It's probably just one of those things we didn't want to bother with in the video. But yeah, I'll be sure to ask Sam that, and definitely we'll want to have test coverage for that case. So yeah, agreed there.
It looks like a dangerous case that you're trying to save something that doesn't have a type. So it will obviously not be able to save it, but it's still in temporary storage somewhere, and then you may lose it if you don't do that. Yeah, I don't know.
Actually, let me ask you a question. What about the possibility of for uploads that have an unresolved type like pizza.gif? What if we had, all the possible options and then like a cancel button to like just kill that up, to be like, forget it, I didn't mean to touch that, or maybe a cancel for any of them? Is that something that would be useful, or would that just clutter it up?
I don't know. As a developer, it sounds nice to like cover all our bases, to have a cancel button, but you're not really obligated to use any of the media that you are uploading. You can always remove them later from your entity. So
right, you can remove them from your entity, but what if you are like, oh, I didn't even mean to upload that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, yes, as a developer, it sounds like a use case that we did not cover yet, but I'm not sure if that's an 80% use case or not, or if it would clutter it up too much. Because you would need to have like an X by all of them, or a cancel button in all rows or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So sorry. That leads me to think about the use case where someone uploads a file that they shouldn't load through the media widget. Does that mean it's immediately available to everyone else, even when they haven't yet saved the node?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
Yeah, sorry, I was confused because of the echoing. The use case I'm thinking of is someone accidentally uploads a court case that's not supposed to be on there. Recently happened out in the world. And the way it looks now, it immediately adds the file to all media available to everyone when you save all and insert, even though you haven't saved the node yet. So from the node page, there's no ability to cancel the fact that you're adding media. It looks like you're forcibly adding media to the entire pool of available media to everyone, despite not yet having saved the node. Would it have made more sense to permanently add the media only on node save rather than prior to node save, or is there a problem with that?
Well, the truth is, I don't actually, so not knowing the implementation details of the patch, I don't know if it actually does save everything into the site-wide media library while you're doing this. It could be saving it in some private area like temp store or something. So I can't really answer that question yet.
I would give Sam a lot of credit if he was saving it to temp store. That's like forward thinking.
He might be. I mean, he's also a member of the security team, so this kind of stuff probably wouldn't escape him. But I'll ask him that, because that's definitely a really good point.
Cool. Thanks.
In the meantime, I looked up the empty table text issue. It's 2974093. 2974093. And apparently they're actually proposing to open follow-ups to remove the links in empty text to add new and add the add button where possible. So that would be consistent that you have add buttons, but you would not have the add link in the empty text anymore, which I don't know. It could be consistent for the filter use case, right? Because then it's the same for both. But there's still an issue that's not yet opened. So
there is actually there's one problem I'm seeing here. Like I just skimmed that patch that you sent, and it looks like it's changing that for the list builder class, but it doesn't actually change it for views. And because the media library is a view, it will be completely unaffected by this fix. But that said, I mean, if they establish a precedent in that issue that we can kind of copy, then we at least have a template for how to fix it in views.
Yeah, this is the same text that media uses, so it's the no X available basically. So no media available would be matching that pattern. But yeah, the add something questions, that's going to be a follow-up to that one. But yeah, if you notice the issue with views, that would be great if you can comment on that later on. Anything else here?
I'm just pleased with it. But this is all really good feedback, so I appreciate that from everybody. Yeah. Shall we call it a meeting?
If you don't have any other topics, yeah. Sure. I haven't seen any proposed in the chat. I think people are equally busy with all kinds of other things that have deadlines and or just have great summer vacations. Both could be nice.
All right, cool. Well, I'm satisfied. So
okay.
Yeah, let's call it. Cool. Thanks, guys.
See you next week.
Yep. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.